If you're an Arizona investor right now, there's a good chance you feel stuck between two options: short term rentals and midterm rentals. And neither one feels like a clear win. Short term rentals feel harder than it used to be. Midterm rentals sound appealing, but also unfamiliar. And everywhere you look, someone is confidently telling you that their way is the only smart move. That leaves a lot of investors frozen, not because they don't want to act, but because they don't want to make the wrong call. Here's the uncomfortable truth: most investors who struggle in Phoenix didn't choose the wrong market, they chose the wrong model for their property. And then they spent months trying to force it to work. By the end of this video, you'll understand how experienced Arizona investors actually decide between short term rentals, mid-term rentals, or a hybrid approach based on location, demand signals, and stress tolerance. Not hype, not fear, or what worked for someone else. One of the biggest mindset shifts investors need to make is this: STR and MTR are not identities, they're tools. They're simply two different ways to serve demand. Problems start when investors emotionally attach to a model instead of objectively evaluating whether it fits the property they own or want to buy. Your property already has a natural guest. Your job is not to invent one, your job is to recognize them. When you do that, the STR versus MTR decision becomes much clearer and a lot less stressful. In Phoenix, a property naturally leans short term rental when the demand is experience driven. Common short term rental signals include consistently strong weekend bookings, guests asking about pools, nightlife, events, and entertainment, proximity to Old Town Scottsdale, downtown Phoenix, or Tempe, homes designed for groups or social stays. These properties thrive on events, tourism cycles, short stays, emotional booking decisions. Short term rentals work best when the property itself is part of the reason someone wants to book. If your home needs guests to stay 5 nights a week to make sense financially, that's where short term rental often starts to struggle. That's not failure, it's just a mismatch between expectations and demand. Midterm rentals perform best when demand is utility driven, not experience driven. In Phoenix, midterm rental demand comes heavily from travel nurses and medical professionals, corporate and tech assignments, insurance displacements, relocation and new build delays. Strong midterm rental signals include frequent 30 to 90-day inquiries, guests asking about Wi Fi speed, workspace, parking, and if you're in a quiet neighborhood, proximity to hospitals, corporate corridors, or stable residential neighborhoods. Homes designed for everyday living, not entertainment. This is why areas like Chandler, Gilbert, Midtown Phoenix, North Phoenix, and Peoria consistently outperform as midterm rental markets. These guests don't want nightly pricing or constant turnover. They want a place that feels normal, predictable, and comfortable. Here's where most investor frustration comes from. When you force short term rental in a midterm rental leaning area, weekdays are soft, you discount more than you want, you feel like you're constantly chasing bookings. When you force midterm rental in a short term rental leaning area, pricing caps out, demand feels inconsistent, you leave upside on the table. In both cases, the property isn't broken, it's just misaligned. And misalignment creates emotional stress, not just financial friction. This is where Phoenix behaves differently than many markets. A large number of properties here perform best as hybrids: STR during peak season, roughly November through March. Midterm rental during slower, hotter months, April through October. This approach reduces vacancy, smooths cash flow, lowers operational stress, captures upside without forcing it year round. Hybrid strategies are especially effective in areas like Desert Ridge, North Phoenix, Central Phoenix, Chandler, Tempe borders. This is one of the most underused strategies in Arizona and one of the most stabilizing. The investors doing well in Phoenix aren't chasing the best strategy. They're asking better questions. Who is my natural guest? What problem does my property solve? How does this neighborhood behave year round? How much involvement do I actually want? When those answers are clear, the strategy becomes obvious. Short term rental versus mid term rental stops being a debate and starts being a decision. If you're trying to decide whether your property should stay STR, shift to MTR, or run as hybrid, DM or text me. I'll walk you through your address, your demand signals, and your options so you can stop forcing a strategy that doesn't fit your property.